In the heart of a small, picturesque town, there existed a quiet and unassuming antique shop known as Eleanor's Treasures. It was a place of peculiar charm, its dimly lit corners filled with relics of the past. But what drew the most curious and macabre of patrons was not the shop itself, but rather the mysterious collection it housed, a room known as the Doll Collection. Eleanor, the elderly proprietor, was the sole guardian of the collection. She was a woman of few words, known to greet her customers with a warm smile but rarely engage in idle chatter. The dolls in her collection were said to be cursed, each with a dark and haunting history that had been long forgotten by the townsfolk. Many had heard whispers about the dolls, but few dared to enter the dimly lit room and gaze upon their ghostly countenances. One gloomy autumn evening, a young woman named Emily visited Eleanor's Treasures. She had heard the tales of the doll collection but was drawn to it like a moth to a flame. Emily's curiosity got the better of her, and she asked Eleanor if she could see the dolls. The old woman nodded silently and led her to the eerie room, the door creaking open to reveal a scene that sent shivers down Emily's spine. The room was filled with antique dolls of all shapes and sizes, arranged meticulously on dusty shelves. Their glassy eyes seemed to follow Emily as she walked among them, and their porcelain faces bore expressions of both innocence and malevolence. As she examined them, Eleanor's voice finally broke the silence, revealing the dark tales that haunted each doll. There was the Countess of Sorrow, a porcelain beauty who was said to bring heartbreak and misery to those who gazed into her eyes. And the Twisted Jester, a ragged clown doll whose laughter was said to herald tragedy. But the most unsettling of them all was the Child of the Abyss, a life-sized doll with hair as black as night and a pale, emotionless face. It was whispered that anyone who touched the Child of the Abyss would be plagued by nightmares for the rest of their days. Emily couldn't tear her eyes away from the collection, a sense of dread growing with each passing moment. She listened to Eleanor's stories with rapt attention. And something about the way the old woman spoke made her wonder if the tales were more than just folklore. As the evening wore on, Emily became increasingly aware of a presence in the room. It was as if the dolls themselves had come to life, their eyes locking onto her with an eerie intensity. She suddenly felt a chilling hand on her shoulder and turned to see the Child of the Abyss standing just inches away, its cold, lifeless eyes boring into her soul. With a gasp, Emily fled from the room, leaving Eleanor's Treasures in a hurry. She couldn't shake the feeling that the dolls had cursed her, and that their malevolent spirits would haunt her forever. From that day on, she could never escape the eerie sensation of being watched, and her dreams were filled with the haunting visages of the dolls from the collection. Eleanor's Treasures remained a place of dark mystery, and the stories of the cursed doll collection were passed down through generations, a cautionary tale for those who dared to seek out the macabre and the unknown.